Hello everyone, my name is Priya Patel and today I'm going to explain my COVID simulator, which is nothing but a detailed analysis on the virus. And we know that when the COVID-19 was first introduced in the Wuhan near by December 2019, it started spreading afterwards in like more than 50 countries, which resulted in all the healthcare centers loading with the full capacity. And this situation has created a global threat for all the communities and declared a COVID pandemic. So you know that according to the CDC, that individual who meets any affected people can also transmit the virus even before they start showing any symptoms. So risking the life of this many people, it was necessary to take the immediate action to prevent this. It aims to communicate insights through virus data gathering and visualization, which include real-time data retrieval. So this project actually feature all the necessary information to deal with the real-time scenario and the possible outcome. To think about the actual possible outcomes. It compares coronavirus spread on different situations such as self-isolation, 100% lockdown, and reduced interaction. What is the proposal here I'm doing? So a model can forecast the future impact according to the past record. A simulation can help with that, and it can be made with some specification like sex, age, or health status or employment. Then it can be easy for government as well as some business leader to take the decision in advance to benefit the society. A simulator will show some numbers of infecting people day by day on various situations, like what will be the 100% lockdown will impact on the spreading virus, and what will be the self isolation can help, and what is the capacity of virus to spread if people can be reinfected, then at what extent, right? So this many things are little in control because project also shows that simulation when people are staying at home and only going out will reduce the mobility and also reduce the spread of the virus. So you can say that there are some things which can control the spread, but the reality is little bit more difficult, right? Because let's give some aspects to the needy to make a great decision with the simulation, which may inject some randomness but also give some forecast. So we need to take some different intensity data to evaluate the system outcomes. Here I will explain some basic about COVID-19 first. That we know that when the global community was infected by COVID-19, the WHO and the leaders of several countries decided to take the measures such as implementing travel restrictions to decrease the spread of the virus, as it is not the solution but just a way to reduce the effect. So numerous small countries have extremely long struggled with the situation as they have higher confirmed cases per million and tend to have fewer medical supplies. So similarly with the United States, so the severity of the COVID-19 has been climbing in the small states like Connecticut and Delaware, while California has the fourth highest confirmed number of the cases in United States. But it is only standing in the 32nd position among all the states because we are measuring confirmed cases per million. Okay, and multiple agencies, research institutes, and organizations are also working very hard to find the vaccines to stimulate the production of antibodies and provide immunity against COVID-19. And by simulating COVID situation, we are just giving other a clear picture about seriousness of virus, because even sometimes now people are also taking the viruses very lightly and they are like, it will be okay, we will not get affected, even if we get affected then we will be recover after soon. So this is the time we need to give people a clear picture that how it will impact us if we are going out and not staying at home and interact with each other. So I will also give you some basic idea about my project. So what I will do is, I have created a simulation where I have taken 2000 people as a one whole world, and I have that population I have moved intermediately. So when the people are moving, it will interact with each other, and when they interact with each other, then it will transmit the virus. So after transmit the virus, they will be infected. Okay, so this infected people goes to another healthy people, so that healthy people also get infected. After that, if that infected people stop moving at the same location, it means it is quarantine, then that that infected people can be recovered, right? And that if the infected people are going out and out and out, and it is not in recovering, that after that it will die or something like that. So this is nothing but just a motion in the population, and creating a motion, I will show you how people infect, then recover, then die. Okay, First of all, what we'll need is data visualization. So the key component for building any kind of visualization is data, and Python provides the best of the libraries to show the any kind of pattern in the data. So there are several steps to be followed to make a good visualization. First, after collecting a big bunch of data set, we need to filter it out to make it little bit interactive, right? So after getting proper sorting data, we need to do is doing graphs like bar graph, chart graph, or scatter plot, like that, to represent the state of the data. And after that, find the key indicators to conclude the result out of it. So below graph shows high density region versus low density region. If the people are more staying in more congested areas very near to each other, then the virus infecting rate should be higher. Here you in the image you can say infected maximum is 13 something, and here infected maximum is 5. It means the lower density area is little bit safe than the higher density area. And for doing this kind of graphs in the Python simulator, then we need some libraries available, kind NumPy, SciPy, or Matplotlib or Plotly, like that, for which uses machine learning features. Next is a model. Which model I am using? So model SEIR, which refers to susceptible, exposed, infectious, and recovered respectively. So it is based on the SIR model but adds one exposed variable in the component, and susceptible means the person who can catch the infection and become the host. So below diagram shows the each and every component of SEIR model and how individual pass through each of them. So parameter mainly used in the model is beta, which controls the virus spread rate, and it is probability of transmission between two stages, like how people transform from susceptible to infectious position. So next is sigma, that is which is the rate of individuals getting infectious, also known as incubation rate. So average duration of incubation is 1 by y, and gamma is 1 by d, and which is average duration of recovery. D means recovery rate. And after this phase they will enter the removed phase. It means they will be removed from the case, and that is immune. And this model shows that the individual who was infected before can be infected again. And first are the chance of reinfection and no non-reinfection scenario to take place after the infections are on peak. So this scenario leads to the worst case. If the people are recovered and after that again it is reinfected, that is this is the worst scenario, because there are high number of chance that people will also die. Okay, so stop this kind of peak in the infection. We need to take some steps, like I already told you, like travel restriction or quarantine or lockdown, like that. Data pre-processing. So the main prerequisites for this paper is the availability of the data, and which should be precise and varied with the location, time, and results. And this kind of data with proper format is desirable but not available that easily. So getting the data we need to design the system is only be achieved by data pre-processing, which is time consuming task. To model the pandemic we need to use ODEs using SIR and SAS model, which involves various parameters. So in the SEIR model, each for component is a fraction of individual, makes SEIR is equal to 1. Consider that there are equal number of deaths and birth rate, then 1 by alpha is mean latest period of virus spread, and 1 by gamma is mean infectious people, those leads to the model. So this is what it concludes: susceptible and exposed and infected. So this is how it can affect us by, right? And the R is defined, R means recovered, is defined from another variable. And first what I will do is I will just generate a simple graph, because there is a available library of COVID. I have used that library, and I have taken some already available data with different countries and how the people are recovered, and what is the death ratio, what is the confirmed cases, like that. And I have simply created the this image shows the data set of this graph I have used, and this is the graph I have created, which shows the confirmed versus this is total confirmed, and right now this green bar showing the active cases. Next, I have taken different scenarios, I have already told you, so I will show you one by one. And for this I have taken some factors which affects the simulation, which is Gaussian mean is 1 by 3, and so if the his age is higher, then the risk of getting infected is also higher. And if we know that if people is age is 50, and if after 75, then the exponentially the infected ratio will increase by 10%. And here total population use is 2000. So I told you already, right, that I have taken a 2000 people in total, and I have getting a motion in between them. So this red mark shows the infected people. Here in the upper part you can see that a total 2000 people, only 8 healthies are remain. So that greens are healthy, and this red are infected, that is 1841, and some of them are immune, and there are only 6 deaths. So the black dots shows the deaths. And these are two graphs you can see. So after some time, like nearby 636 timestamp, you can see that the graph increasing for the infected people is very high, and after some time, you know that immune people are starting to increase, and that infected people are starting to decrease. So this is at nearby 1166 timestamp. This is the normal scenario when people are going out and moving at normal pace and living normal life. It showed that 10% of death are there when this kind of scenario is there. Next is reduced interaction. Reduced interaction means people are only going out when it's need and staying home otherwise. So this will reduce the death ratio by 7 to 8%. And to show there is no interaction, we will stop some random numbers. So here what I have done is to show that there is a normal means people are moving. It means this dots are moving as well, and they are moving means they are interacting with each other and they will get infected. And here I have stopped some of the population to move, and then after what is happened, this red graph you can see, this is like a very low compared to the other one, and the green immune is higher, and this gray ones show is that the population who was healthy is going down with some infected and some immune people. Third one is the lockdown. So when for the lockdown, what we have done is, in the lockdown 90% of the population is stop moving, and only 5% of them are already infected, so we can't do anything about it, and another 10% will move with slow speed. But yeah, you know that there are some people who are not following orders will infect the cases. So here you can see lockdown and after lockdown. So this scenario is shows the lockdown period where some of the already infected and then goes in the lockdown. So it will not suddenly decrease, because even if they're in the lockdown, they are already affected, and after some time it will start getting immune. And this yellow bar is the healthy people. And after lockdown, because after lockdown everything will be removed and people will go out soon and create a deadly situation. Like here you can see the graph will automatically increase suddenly, right, within the 400 to 1200 days. So here the lockdown readings is at the 200 and something days, the infected people were 1029, and there is number of death is 25. While compared to this is very half of the days, but still the death people are like more than 10%, right? So this is the case, and unaffected is only one is staying here. Compare the timestamp, right? And the next scenario is self-isolation. So in the self-isolation, instructions are given to stay at home if individual are infected, and this is not the lockdown, but it depends on the individual to follow the rules and to what extent. So this will help to reduce the spread, as they will not meet the healthy one. And you can see that the yellow one is the healthy part. The 2000 people are there, healthy are 755, infected only 2 are infected. You can see these 2 people are infected, and immune are 242, and one is one death. So after 2955 days, only one death is there in the self-isolation care. So how this simulation runs is, I have created one gap here. So when the people got infected, it will start to come in this gap. So after coming in this gap, it is isolated, means they are not interacting with each other. So if they are not interacting with each other, they will start to getting immune. After getting immune, they will move to this part, and the another infected will come again this part. So after some time it will happen that all the people are uh, moved from stage infected to immune, and there is no other infected people remain, then this simulation will stop. And from this visualization all the graph and that behavior, we can conclude that less the people moving, less the virus spread will be there, right? And the best practice to reduce the maximum amount of rate is found in self isolation. Thank you.